Yeah, good morning, one and all. So today we are going to start the next unit, that is unit number 6, which is on the design of beams. So we have covered the last unit, that is the introduction to plastic analysis for beams and portal frame. So we have seen some uh, concept regarding elastic theory, plastic theory, or elastic zone, plastic zone, then behavior of the sections which we are using for the construction of industrial buildings, that is I section, channel section, and we have seen the various shape factors for particular sections, and how to calculate that shape factor, that also we have seen. Again, we have analyzed the plastic analysis done for the beams and portal frames. So we have solved the many examples based on this particular. Okay. So today we will see the next unit, that is unit number 6, which is on the beams. It means we have to design the beams which are made up of steel. So steel beam we have to design. So initially we will see the what is beam. So anyone can tell me, you have analyzed the beam in the structural analysis. You have calculated the shear forces, bending moments for the beam. So beam is the flexural member. So anyone can define beam. What is beam in the your technical language? Hmm? So beam is the horizontal component of or vertical component in the structure. Beam is the horizontal or vertical component, that also you can tell me. So that is also you don't know whether the beam is a horizontal component or vertical component.
Horizontal component.
So the beam is a horizontal component. It means it is a flexural component. So all the horizontal components are there in the structure that are a flexural component. It means flexural means they are carrying a they will be deflected, and the bending moment is a major characteristics or parameter of that particular beam. So we will see what is beam first, and then how beams look, and what how the beam is deflected, or where how beam will fail, where what are the modes of failures of beam, that we will see. Okay. So now I think if we define beam in this way, the beam is the structural element or structural member subjected to transverse loading in the plane of bending, causing shear force and bending. So you have learned this definition in structural analysis also. What is the definition of beam? Beam is the structural member subjected to transverse loading. Subjected to transverse loading. So beam is a structural member subjected to transverse loading in the plane of bending. So this is the plane of bending. In the plane of bending, causing shear force, causing shear force and bending moment. Are you getting? With this sketch, I have explained this definition of beam. What is beam? Beam is a structural member subjected to transverse loading, in the plane of bending. This is the bending plane, and causing the shear force and bending moment. So it is nothing but the beam. So if we write the definition, so write down definition. Beam is the beam is the Structural member. So as I told you, structural member, it means the member under loading condition. If word is coming structural, so many more definitions we have seen. We have seen the definition of tension member, we have seen the definition of compression member. Their word, structural word is came. So structural, it means the member under loading condition. It means the load is coming on that member, and due to that load, there may be shear forces, bending moment, deflection, yielding, whatever failure criteria will be developed, that due to the load only. So structural, it means it is under the loading condition. So beam is the structural member subjected to transverse loading. Transverse loading, it means it is in the plane of bending. Transverse loading in the plane of bending. Transverse loading means opposite to the or right angle to the plane. So plane of bending, A to B is the plane of bending. This is the A support, this is the B support. So in the plane of bending, it means A to B is the plane, and due to this transverse force P, the beam will be deflected or bent. So in the plane of bending, causing shear force and bending moment. So this is the definition of beam. Okay, so now this is the beam. As you got, I have shown the sketch, I have defined the definition. So this is the definition. So now this beam, how will fail if this transverse loading is on this particular beam? So what are the criteria? What conditions are there this beam will fail? So there are modes of failure. So this is the definition. So now next is the modes of failure. How this beam will fail? So there are three modes of failure. First mode of failure is the deflection. That is deflection limit. It means whatever this is the deflection. So due to this load, beam will deflect, and at the end the plastic hinge will form and this beam will fail. So this is nothing but the deflection. More deflection will occur due to additional load coming on this particular beam. So deflection. What is deflection? Deflection limit means what? When the vertical loads are applied on the beam. So P is the vertical load. When, again same sketch I will draw. When vertical load applied on the beam, there will be a possibility of deflection. So there will be a possibility of deflection. So this is nothing but the deflection. Due to this load, there will be a possibility of deflection. So there will be possibility of deflection means there will be possibility of bending also. We are calling as a bending. So this shape is the bending of the steel section. Bending of the steel section is nothing but the deflection. So how we can define deflection? Deflection is nothing but when the vertical load applied, when the vertical loads are applied vertical loads are applied on the beam there is a always possibility of bending, always possibility of bending. So due to the vertical this load, there will be a always possibility of bending of the steel section. So that bending of steel section is nothing but it is called as deflection. So this is so easy. What deflection is there? Because the beam is rested on two support A and B. Are you getting? A and B are the support, and due to this vertical load P, the whatever the uh, unsupported area, whatever the unsupported area will bend, and that bending, possibility of bending is nothing but the deflection. Okay, so here that deflection, so deflection, actual deflection of beam, it should be less than deflection allowable. So if some simply supported beam is there, so how much standard deflection for simply supported beam? Anyone can tell me? If this particular beam is there, simply supported beam is there, so this deflection value delta is how much standard value for this simply supported beam? Please, you have to do hard study regarding this structure. You have learned mechanics, you have learned structural mechanics 1, structural mechanics 2. So this is the part of structural mechanics. Simply supported beam is there. What is the shear force at end? If central point load is acting, UDL is acting, what is the standard bending moment? So such formulas and such calculations in your what we can say विचारल्या विचारल्या आपल्या तोंडात आलं पाहिजे अशा गोष्टी आहेत. So what is the maximum deflection for simply supported beam?
EL cube by 48 EI.
Good. WL cube, no? WL cube upon 48 EI. Correct? W is the load, no?
Yes, sir.
WL
Yes,
cube
sir.
upon 48. Sir. So such things are you have to remember. So I will give you some such standard deflection, standard bending moment, standard shear forces in writing. Don't worry. Because this is the actual part of the structural analysis 1 and 2. This is the not a part of design. Actually, this part, analysis part, we are using here for small one step only. Our main role is a design here. If bending moments, you have calculated bending moments in the structural analysis. So just a minute. Sorry, due to some emergency, I was unavailable for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so this is the deflection. So as we are discussing about the standard values for the beams, the shear force, maybe bending moment, maybe deflection. So these are the very important as we are an civil engineer, or the simply supported beam is there, whether there is bending moment is present or not. The fixed beam is there, whether their movement will be present or not. Such basic things are there. These are the very important, and these parts are of your second year structural mechanics 1 and 2. This is not here design part, but this here required this values. Okay, so we will discuss on this front again for 1 hour. Okay, so deflection, as thank you friend, you have tell me values, that is the WL cube upon 48 EI. Good, that is the deflection for the simply supported. So that is the allowable deflection, WL cube upon 48 EI for simply supported beam. But actual deflection, how much occur due to this P load? So that is should not be greater than this allowable. So that we will see while solving the example. Okay, so you got what is deflection. Okay, so now second mode of failure is the wave crippling. Second mode of failure is a wave crippling. So what is wave crippling? So if this is the I section, this is the wave. Are you getting? If this is channel section, this is the wave. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
So this wave crippling. So due to the excess load, this wave, this is the wave. So this wave will cripple. Cripple means the crack will form like this. Due to this such load, this wave will cripple like this. This waves will cripple. So I will show here I section. So if this is the I section, so generally we are using I section for the beam. That also you know better, know in better, because I sections, whatever I sections given in the steel cable, these I sections we are using for the beam everywhere or every time. Sometimes channel we are using, but many times we are using I sections for the beam. So while designing the beam, we will select the I sections. Okay, so this is the beam. So how the beam will fail due to this crippling? So this is the your load, and if this is the your neutral axis. So what happened due to this excessive load? The beam will be crippled like this, and from this your failure will be there. So this is the beam crippling. So what will happen? Why this beam will fail? Because whatever your load P is there, the P is greater than your actually PU. It means ultimate load PU will be coming on this beam, and then greater load will be come. कधी होऊ शकतं असं crippling failure? If the whatever load you have designed, factored load, more than that load will if come on this particular beam, then your beam will be the fail. So what is crippling? So crippling is when the loading in excess than the load carrying capacity. Whatever load carrying capacity of this beam is there, and then the load is excess, then the buckling strength causing the crippling of wave. मग हे बकल होत काय होतं त्याचं crippling. So write down here again, when the loading is in excess, than load carrying capacity. load carrying capacity. So what is load carrying capacity? Pu is the load carrying capacity, and the excess load is P. So P is excess than the load carrying capacity of the wave of the wave of the wave exceeds buckling strength. So it means whatever buckling strength of wave is there, that exceeds, and due to this exceeding buckling strength, causing crippling of wave, causing crippling of wave. I know how wave will cripple. So like this, it means crack will be there. It means more compression will be there. So at due to, and this condition will be happen. So what is this condition? The loading is excess than the load carrying capacity. This P is the loading, excess loading, and Pu is the load carrying capacity. So more than load carrying capacity, load will come on this particular section. Then your buckling strength will exceed, and due to buckling strength exceeding buckling strength, the causing the crippling of wave. Are you getting? So draw this and write down this. Okay, have you written and have you drawn? Many of our friends are joining late. So as I told earlier 2 times, so other theoretical subjects you can learn by reading, but such subjects you cannot learn. तुम्ही कितीही स्वतः मी सेल्फ स्टडी करतो म्हटला, so for this such subjects, because some basic things are there, how this formula derive, why this comes. So such things are, if you miss such lectures, then you will not get such things. So as I many times has told, please don't miss lectures for such subjects, because this is the design. And if you uh, after your passing of graduation, if you come in the mm, actual for the your working place, so there may be such conditions are there if you miss such concepts. So theoretical things you will learn on site also, but such things, if you have to learn again, there will be a difficulty. So that's why I told many times, please attend such lectures for these subjects. Still many of students not attending, but those who are attending, I'm happy you will learn something new. Okay, so this is the second mode of failure, that is the wave crippling. And now third wave is the wave buckling. Wave buckling, third mode of failure is a wave buckling. Again, this is cripple. Now what is buckling? If you see, again I section I have calculated here. So now this is the load coming on the member, and this is the reaction. for this load, this much reaction will be there. So when your buckling will be there, this is the your buckling. So when P is equal to R, if P is equal to R, then buckling will be there. It means whatever applied load on the member and the reaction of the member, it will be same, then buckling will be there. Crippling when happen? Due to excess load, crippling will be happen. But buckling, when will happen buckling? The both applied load and reaction both will be same, at that time buckling will be happen. Are you getting, are you imagine these things? कधी क्रिपल होऊ शकतं, कधी बकल होऊ शकतं. एक्सेस लोड झाला तर क्रिपल होणार, बरोबर. आणि बकल कधी होणार? दोन्ही रिएक्शन सेम आहेत. अप्लाइड केलेला फोर्स आणि खालून येणारी रिएक्शन सेम आहे, त्यावेळी काय होणार? बेंड. Are you getting? Are you imagine such things? I have drawn.
Yes, sir.
I have drawn sketches also for imagination. So such situations occurs, then buckling and crippling will happen. Okay. So now we will write definition. So definition will be the external force. The external force or external applied load. External applied load. External applied load or the reaction and the reaction are equal to the buckling strength. So whatever buckling strength is there, so for this buckling strength, applied load and reactions both are equal for causing wave buckling. So both applied force and whatever reactions coming due to applied force, both are equal, then your beam will buckle, because both forces are equal and they are applying the force on this wave. So at that time, in this way, buckling will be there. So this is the buckling of wave. So these are the three failure criteria of beam. Beam will fail due to these three only. So this is the basic concept regarding this beam. डिझाईन करायला नाही उद्या, पण बीम आहे, बीमवर लोड येतो, कोणत्या डायरेक्शन येतो, कशा पद्धतीने फेल होतं, दॅट थिंग्स आर व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट इफ यू आर नॉट डिझाईन इंजिनियर. तुम्ही डिझाईन इंजिनियर नसाल तर ह्या एक बेसिक थेरॉटिकल गोष्टी तर माहित असायला पाहिजे. ओके, सो गॉट इट एव्हरीवन, these modes of failures.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we will move towards the design of beam. Okay, so have you written, everyone? Have you drawn the sketches?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I think so this wave deflection, then wave crippling, then wave buckling. So such on this basis, so these modes of failure or questions on these modes of failure will ask for the MPSC examination or GATE examination also, because these wordings are very important. On the basis of this wording, you have to define whether this is wave crippling or whether this is wave buckling. So this part is again very important for the some competitive and GATE examination. Okay, so this chapter again very important for the your university examination, because whatever design procedure is there, in the design procedure there are so many formulas are there, and that formulas, on this formula there will be a questions, MCQ questions will be asked in university examination. So procedure please keep in mind and be writing in your notebook. Okay, so next, so we will see how to design the beam now. So now design of laterally supported beam. Actually, beams are laterally supported. Laterally supported beams. Laterally, it means such always beams are placed like this. Many where it will be fixed or it will be like this. It means laterally supported. Okay, so we will see the procedure first of design of laterally supported beam. So we will see the procedure of combined beam. So there are three possibilities of load coming on the beam. First possibility, in this way load comes, this is L by 2, L by 2. Second condition will be uniformly distributed load, and in third condition there may be a uniformly distributed load or point load, both combination. So if, see, this is the plan of any building. So these are the main beams, MB. These are the SP. These all external beams are the main beams, MB. And these are the SB. So now SB are resting on where? These secondary beams are resting on
Main beam.
main beam. It means this point load indicating what? This is your MB, and this point load is a load due to secondary beam. Are you getting? Load due to secondary beam. And suppose, or 2 point loads are there. Here 2 secondary beams are there. And some additional UDL load is on that particular beam, then this is UDL. So such conditions also occurs in the industry. So this point load is nothing but, for main beam one secondary beam is connected. This is nothing but this is the point load. Point load आतापर्यंत आपण ऐकत होलो point load असतो means what? On this particular beam some other member is connected, and this other member is transferring half load here and half load this side. P by 2 this side and P by 2 this side. Whatever load coming on this secondary beam. Are you getting? Such conditions are in the market or industry happens. Okay, so I will erase this and we will see the procedure how to design. Okay, so design procedure. So we have to solve the example on the basis of the design procedure. So this design procedure is a very, very important. So write down. So there are 3 cases are there. So case 1, the procedure for all 3 cases is, it will be same. So case 1 is a central point load acting on a beam. If central point load acting on a beam. Case 2, we have to design laterally supported beam. For this beam, these 3 cases will be there. Case 2, uniformly distributed load acting on beam, as I have shown earlier in these by the sketches. So central point load means this condition. Then load acting on a beam. Uniformly distributed load acting on a beam. It means this is your beam and this is the uniformly distributed load. And case 3, combination of central point load and UDL. Central point load and UDL. It means this is the beam, this is the UDL on the beam and central point load. So such cases are there. So such type of loadings coming on the beam. Either central point load is there, either maybe UDL will be there, or either maybe UDL plus point load will be there. So such cases will be there while we have to design the laterally supported beam. Okay, so now we will see the procedure. So step 1. So for these 3 cases, any of this case of this कोणती ह्यातली केस असेल तर आपण या पद्धतीने प्रोसिजर फॉलो करू शकतो. ओके, स्टेप 1. एव्हरीवन प्लीज राईट डाऊन. Calculate in step 1. Calculate the factored load. Calculate the factored load, comma, maximum bending moment, and shear force for given loading. See, in the step number 1, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate factored load first, then maximum bending moment we have to calculate, and shear force we have to calculate. It means in one step only we can calculate the maximum bending moment and shear force here. And you have solved whole example in structural mechanics 1 and 2. You have solved whole example for calculation of shear force and bending moment. So here in only one step we are calculating the shear force and bending moment. So this is the step 1. Okay, so for given loading, how we can calculate factored load, maximum bending moment and shear force? So now here in this case 1, if case 1 is there, what is case 1? Case 1 is a central point load acting on a beam. If central point load acting on a beam, how we can calculate the factored load, maximum bending moment and shear force? See, factored load is equal to. So how we can calculate factored load? Factored load is equal to WD is equal to. We are calling as a factored load WD. WD means the design load. W is the load, D is the design. Here we have given notation WD, design load. So 1.5 into same way 1.5 into service load or working load. So in this way calculate the factored load. So then after factored load, what we have to calculate? Maximum bending moment. So maximum bending moment, that is EMD. Maximum moment, that is EMD. Means design moment we have to calculate. Okay. If see central point load acting on a beam, what is the maximum bending moment? Who will tell me? Central point load acting on a beam. This simply supported beam is there. This is L by 2, L by 2. What?
WL by 2.
WL by 2 or WL by 4?
WL by 4.
WL by 4. Please correct Sanket. WL by 4. So W means calculated WD. Here W means what? This WD. Then L by 4. WD. Why WD? Design load is there. So WDL by 4. WD का म्हटलं हे लक्षात घ्या. डिझाईन लोड आहे हा, म्हणून त्याला डी म्हटले आपण. सो WDL by 4 and shear force. What will be the reaction? This reaction. W is there, L by 2 is there. So what will be this reaction? Reaction means shear force. So these are the things you have to keep in mind. या गोष्टी तुम्हाला तोंडपाठ असल्या पाहिजे. Simply supported beam is there. What is deflection? What is bending moment? What is shear force? As you have to become expert in this particular field, as you have to prepare for the competitive examination, as you have to prepare for the MPSC examination, as you have to prepare for GATE examination. For this purpose, you have to, these values you have to be alert about this. What is shear force? Simple आहे. जो लोड आहे त्याच्या डिवाइडेड बाय 2 इकडे डिवाइडेड बाय 2 इकडे जाणार ना, सिम्पली सपोर्टेड बीम असल्यानंतर. मग काय असणार shear force?
W by 2.
WD by 2. W by 2, it means WD, design load is by 2. This is the WD by 2 or WD by 2. सोपं आहे पण व्यवस्थित लक्षात घेतलं पाहिजे. Okay, so this is for case 1. Got it everyone? This is for case 1. So we will go to the case 2. Case 2. What is case 2? Uniformly distributed load acting on a beam. यातली कोणती तरी एक केसेस तुम्हाला एक्झाम्पल असणार आहे. म्हणजे इफ यू आर सॉल्विंग द एक्झाम्पल, so only one case will be there, but we are writing the procedure. So we are writing here procedure, combined procedure of case 1 to 3. Okay, so now again factored load. Factored load is equal to, again WD is equal to, if UDL is there, same 1.5 into service load or working load. Then second, maximum bending moment. Okay, maximum bending moment, MD. Which type of beam is there? Simply supported beam carries a UDL with a W intensity, kilonewton per meter. Span is L. What is the standard bending moment for simply supported beam carries a UDL? WL square by 8. Correct?
Yes, sir.
WL square by 8. So WDL square by 8. And then maximum shear force. that is VD. So here we have written VD. This is nothing but the VD. Shear force is a VD. VD is equal to WDL by 2. WD by W into L. UDL चं point load convert करायचं आपल्याला. So W into L is the force. It will act by 2 divided by 2 केलं की तो इथली आणि इथली रिएक्शन असेल V आणि VB. WL by 4. So this is your WL by 2. Sorry, WL by 2. Sorry, WL by 2. Okay, so this is for case 2, and now remaining case is case 3. That is a combination. So combination of point load and UDL. So same, calculate factored load first. So factored load is a WD is equal to so now 1.5 into. So here point load and UDL, the combination is there. So it means WD plus point load plus UDL. So 1.5 into service load or working load plus here 1.5 into again service load into service load or working load. So then maximum bending moment. So maximum bending moment is equal to MD is equal to. So here BM due to point load. BM due to point load plus BM due to UDL. बरोबर की नाही, दोन लोड आहेत, मग UDL मुळे येणारी बेंडिंग मोमेंट आणि पॉइंट लोड मुळे येणारी बेंडिंग मोमेंट. सो ड्यू टू पॉइंट लोड the bending moment is a WL by 4 plus WD L square by 8. So this is the maximum bending moment, and maximum shear force is equal to VD is equal to again same WD by 2 plus WDL by 2. म्हणजे वरच्या दोन्हीचं कॉम्बिनेशन केलं, फक्त सेम वरचे फॉर्म्युले आहेत. केस 1 आणि केस 2 मध्ये जे वापरलेले फॉर्म्युले ते सेम फॉर्म्युले आपण इथं वापरले, फक्त सेपरेट ऍडिशन केली. सो सच केस विल बी देअर, कंडिशन विल बी देअर इन दी एक्झाम्पल. So this is the step number 1. So out of 3 cases, only one case will be for examination. जर तुम्ही थेरी एक्झामिनेशन सॉल्व करत असाल तर यातली कोणती तरी एकच केस एक्झामला असेल. आणि हे फॉर्म्युले सगळे तुमचे पाठ पाहिजेत. ओके, have you written? Shall we go step number 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. हे तुमच्या नोटबुक मध्ये असणं खूप इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. Because if any design procedure you are not getting, you are not able to design, the beam, but design procedure at least you must know. So how to calculate this, how to calculate now in the next ZP, how to calculate ZE, how to calculate. So these things होल डिझाईन प्रोसिजर तुमच्या लक्षात नसेल तर चालेल, तुम्ही डिझाईन करू शकत नसाल तर चालेल, पण पर्टिक्युलर फॉर्म्युला आणि पर्टिक्युलर एखादी गोष्ट कशी कॅल्क्युलेट करायची, दॅट थिंग्स यू शुड नो when if you have to face university examen, if you have to examination, if you have to face MPSC, if you have to face any competitive examination, if you have to face the GATE examination. Are you getting? So this formulas and how to calculate this particular, that is very important. Okay, so now next, step number 2. Step number 2, calculate plastic section modulus. Plastic section modulus required. So beam is there, so plastic sectional modulus required we have to calculate here. So how we can calculate? So plastic section modulus is nothing but what? Which notation we have given this plastic section modulus? Who will tell me? In the last chapter we have given the notation for plastic sectional modulus. Yes, आहे पुढं पाठ पाठीमागं सपाट सगळं. प्लास्टिक सेक्शन मॉड्युलस काय नोटेशन काय दिलं होतं आपण त्याला? सो व्हॉट इज
ZP.
हा, त्या गोष्टी पटकन सांगता आल्या पाहिजेत. आता रिसेंटली लास्ट लेक्चर मध्ये आपण हे कॅल्क्युलेट केलं, झेडपी. सो झेडपी रिक्वायर्ड इज इक्वल टू द फॉर्म्युला इज MD into gamma m naught divided by Fy. So MD, where we have calculated in step number 1 now. So MD into gamma m naught divided by Fy. It is the ZP required. So now generally we are using I section. So for I section, this is ZP. So ZP required is equal to, sorry, ZD we have to calculate for this, because in the IS code ZD value is there. ZP value कधी मिळेल आपल्याला? at the time of collapse we can calculate ZP value, but ZD एखादा सेक्शन आहे त्याची ZD व्हॅल्यू आपण कॅल्क्युलेट करू शकतो I by Y. So from ZP we can calculate the ZD value. From ZP we can calculate ZD value. So ZD required is equal to ZP required. So what is shape factor? Who will tell me? What is shape factor? Is this correct? Is this correct? Whatever I have written, S is equal to ZP upon ZD.
Yes, sir.
So we calculated ZP now. Here, see, ZP required we have calculated. Now we have to calculate ZD. So what is required now? Here divided by what? काय डिवाइड करायला पाहिजे इथं आपल्याला?
Safety factor.
Shape factor, safety, not safety factor, shape factor. So shape factor. So generally we are using I section for beam. So shape factor for I section. We have written
1.14.
1.14 or 1.13, 1.13 किंवा 1.14 कोणतंही लिहा, काही अडचण नाही. So here 1.13 or 1.14. So in this way, see, if we calculate the ZP, from ZP we can calculate ZE by using this. Got it everyone now? This step, how we can calculate ZE? ZE कसा calculate केला लक्षात आलं का सर्वांच्या?
Yes, sir.
See, we are using I section for the beam. I section चा सेप फॅक्टर काय आहे? S is equal to सेप फॅक्टर is equal to ZP upon ZE. I section चा S काय आहे? 1.14 or 1.13. मग आपल्याला ZP ची व्हॅल्यू मिळाली. मग आपल्याला S is equal to ZP upon ZE माहित आहे. मग जर ZE कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं म्हणलं तर S ची व्हॅल्यू आपण पुट करायची इथं I सेक्शन साठी आपल्याला ZE मिळेल. आणि ZE ची व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला स्टील टेबल मध्ये अवेलेबल आहे. ZP ची नाहीये म्हणून ZE कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं. Okay, so now see, this is very interesting. Okay, ZE we have calculated. Now select suitable I section from steel table that is steel table matching the value of ZE with ZXX. म्हणजे ZE म्हणजे ZXX आपल्याला मॅच होणारा I सेक्शन सिलेक्ट करायचं. आर यू गेटिंग? जसं आपण काय केलं होतं त्याच्यामध्ये अँगल सेक्शन किंवा अदर सेक्शन सिलेक्ट केले त्यावेळी काय केलं? अँगलचा एजी माहित होता, बरोबर आहे का? या एजी पेक्षा जास्त एजी असलेला आपण सेक्शन सिलेक्ट केलं की नाही? केलं ना?
Yes, sir.
हा, मग आता काय करावं लागेल? आता आपल्याला आय सेक्शन सिलेक्ट करायचं आहे. ZE नोन आहे म्हणजेच ZXX तिथं आहे. मग ही जी कॅल्क्युलेट केलेली ZXX ची ZE ची व्हॅल्यू आहे याच्यापेक्षा ZXX ची व्हॅल्यू जास्त असलेले सेक्शन आपण सिलेक्ट करणार ना?
Yes, sir.
हा, या म्हणजे जसं आपण अँगल सेक्शन टेन्शन मेंबर कॉम्प्रेशन मेंबर डिझाइन केला तिथं एजी ची व्हॅल्यू जास्त असलेला जसं सेक्शन सिलेक्ट केला, सिमिलरली हिअर ZE व्हॅल्यू मॅच होणारा किंवा त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त व्हॅल्यू मॅच असणारा सेक्शन सिलेक्ट करायचा आहे. दॅट इज नथिंग बट ZXX व्हॅल्यू इज गिवन इन IS कोड. ZE दिलेलं नाही, त्याला ZXX म्हटलेलं आहे. गॉट इट? ओके. सो नाव ZE required is less than ZE available. म्हणजे कंडिशन ही असली पाहिजे. ZE required. What is ZE required? This is ZE required. याच्यापेक्षा मोठा असला पाहिजे की नाही? सो इज लेस दॅन ZE अवेलेबल म्हणजेच ZE अवेलेबल और ZXX अवेलेबल. हे मॅथमॅटिकली मी लिहिलं की जे आपण सेंटेन्स मध्ये इथे लिहिलेलं हे मॅथमॅटिकल.